When you get older, even if you have the freedom to do this, don't visit the homes of these 4 types of people. Life is a long journey, and as you enter old age, it's not just a time to rest but a time to enjoy everything you've accumulated, both materially and spiritually. However, not everyone brings you peace and happiness. Some people, if you get too close to them or visit them too often, can make your life more stressful and exhausting. That's why, even if you have plenty of free time and the ability to go wherever you want, think carefully before visiting the homes of these 4 types of people. 1. The constant complainers. They are pulling you down without you even realizing it. Have you ever experienced this? You wake up feeling great, full of energy, but after just one conversation with someone, you feel drained, unmotivated, and suddenly have no enthusiasm for the day? If this happens often, you may be dealing with a chronic complainer. These are the people who, no matter what happens, always find something to complain about. The weather is beautiful. Ugh, it's too hot. It's a cool rainy day. Oh no, it's raining again. The streets will be flooded, so annoying. Their children take care of them. They're just doing it out of duty, not because they really care. Their children are busy and don't visit often. I raised them, and now they've abandoned me. The scary thing is that these people don't just complain about their own lives, they pull others into their negativity. Over time, they make you feel down, lose faith in life, and even turn you into someone who constantly complains without you realizing it. Why surrounding yourself with negative people is dangerous. Negativity is contagious. A complainer will drag you down with them. Psychological studies show that negative emotions spread more easily than positive ones. When you spend too much time around chronic complainers, your brain gets rewired to see the world through a negative lens. Imagine meeting an old friend and excitedly asking, "How have you been?" They sigh and say, "Terrible. Money is tight, society is getting worse, nothing is good anymore." You try to encourage them, but at least we still have our health and family, right? They shake their head, "Oh please, health doesn't last forever, and do our kids really care about us?" How do you feel after this conversation? At first, you were happy and full of energy, but now, you feel drained, doubtful, and maybe even start questioning your own life. Increased stress and health problems. Constantly listening to complaints triggers your brain to release cortisol, the stress hormone. High cortisol levels over time can lead to high blood pressure, a weakened immune system, insomnia, and even premature aging. Studies show that seniors who are constantly exposed to negative conversations have a 30% higher risk of depression than those who live in a more positive environment. Thought balloon. Think about it. An elderly person who constantly hears negative news, complaints about society, children, or illness will start experiencing poor sleep, exhaustion, and loss of appetite. Over time, this can lead to memory decline and deteriorating health. They pull you into a negativity loop. The more you listen, the more you become like them. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you surround yourself with negative people, you will start seeing everything negatively. Imagine a group of elderly friends meeting every morning, not to share joyful stories, but to compete over who has the worst life. If you stay in this environment long enough, you will get used to complaining, used to negativity, and one day, you will become just like them. How to deal with negative people. Limit your time around them. You don't need to cut them off completely, but reduce the time you spend with them. If they start complaining, change the subject or find a way to end the conversation early. Stay in control of your mindset. Instead of agreeing with their complaints, redirect the conversation towards something positive. Example, if they say, "Life has nothing good to offer anymore," respond with, "But at least we're still alive and have many things left to enjoy." Spend more time with people who are cheerful, positive, and inspiring. Engage in healthy activities. Instead of sitting around listening to complaints, go for a walk. Read a book. Travel and explore new places. Meet people who bring positive energy into your life. Learn to say no. Don't feel guilty about declining invitations from negative people. You are not obligated to listen to their complaints every day. Protect your own energy. Choose positive energy for a happier life. Life is too short to be consumed by complaints. If you want to have a happy old age, surround yourself with people who bring joy and positive energy, not those who drag you into their negativity. Have you ever met someone like this? Share your story in the comments below. The users, beware of those who only take but never give. As you grow older, you may feel lonely and want to connect with people more. But don't mistake a true friend for someone who only wants to take advantage of you. Some people come into your life not out of genuine care but because they seek your wealth, money, or kindness. Don't let them turn you into a reserve fund for their benefit. How to recognize someone who is using you. People who take advantage of others don't always reveal their true intentions right away. They may act friendly and caring at first, but if you pay close attention, they often share these common traits. They only reach out when they need something. If someone only calls you when they need money, favors, or assistance but never checks in on you otherwise, it's a clear sign of exploitation. Their words are full of promises. I just need to borrow for a short time. I promise to pay you back soon. Help me this once, and I will never forget your kindness. These words sound reassuring, but in reality, they might be empty promises. They don't care about your feelings or situation. If you refuse to help, they may guilt trip you, accuse you of being selfish, or pressure you into changing your mind. They always have excuses for breaking their promises. If you've helped them once, and they fail to repay but keep giving reasonable excuses, chances are they never intended to return what they borrowed. A real-life warning story, James and the Old Friend. James Wilson, a 68-year-old man from Texas, worked hard all his life and had saved a decent amount for retirement. After retiring, he moved to a quiet town to enjoy life among friendly neighbors and old friends. One day, a long-lost friend, Robert, whom James hadn't seen in 30 years, suddenly contacted him. Robert seemed thrilled to reconnect, frequently calling and even visiting James a few times. At first, James was happy to catch up with an old friend. However, before long, Robert started sharing his financial struggles. He said he just needed a small loan to start a coffee shop and promised to repay it within 6 months. Trusting his old friend, James lent Robert $20,000 without any legal documents. Months passed. Then a year. James never received a single dollar back. When he tried to reach Robert, he would either ignore calls or claim that he was still struggling but would pay soon. Eventually, James realized that Robert never had any intention of repaying the loan. Not only did he lose $20,000, but he also lost faith in someone he once considered a friend. The danger isn't just losing money, it can ruin your life. Financial exploitation isn't the only risk for the elderly. They can also be taken advantage of in legal matters and emotional relationships. Being pressured to sign over assets or loans, some people may convince you to take out a loan or mortgage for them. If they default, you bear the consequences. Being emotionally manipulated, some may pretend to be close to you, even flirt with you, or promise long-term companionship just to gain access to your assets. Being guilt-tripped into endless favors, if you start doubting their intentions, they may try to make you feel guilty. Aren't we friends? How could you refuse to help me? If you don't help me, I'll have no one else to rely on. How to protect yourself from users. Learn to say no. Don't feel guilty for refusing to help someone, especially if you sense their lack of sincerity. Never lend large sums of money. If you truly want to help, only give what you can afford to lose without affecting your own life. Never co-sign a loan for anyone, whether it's a relative, a close friend, or even your children. Never sign a loan on their behalf. If anything goes wrong, you'll be legally responsible. Always document loans. If you decide to lend money, ensure there's a signed agreement with clear repayment terms. This protects you in case of disputes. Be cautious of guaranteed profit investments. If someone invites you to invest in a business or scheme promising high returns with no risks, thoroughly research it before committing. Cherish those who truly love you. Not everyone is trustworthy, especially when you are older and possess things others might want. True friends will care about you, even when they have nothing to gain from you. They visit out of affection, not for financial benefit. A true friend will not only reach out when they need something. Someone who genuinely loves you will never pressure you into discomfort. A respectful person will never take advantage of your kindness. So, stay vigilant and don't let your generosity be exploited. Envious people, the thieves of your joy. Have you ever talked to someone and felt that your life suddenly seemed worse than before? Have you ever shared your happiness, only to receive comments full of comparisons or even belittlement? If your answer is yes, you might be dealing with an envious and competitive person. And if you're middle-aged or older, these are exactly the people you should stay away from to keep your life peaceful and happy. Who are envious people? They are the ones who are never satisfied with their own lives but constantly compare themselves to others. They could be friends, relatives, or even close neighbors, but instead of feeling happy for your success, they feel bitter and find ways to criticize or undermine you. They always think, if I can't have it, then no one else deserves to have it either. Signs of an envious person. Always comparing their life to yours. When you achieve something good, they try to downplay it or criticize it. If you face difficulties, they seem pleased and may even say, I told you so. Constantly talking about their own achievements to make you feel inferior. Example, envious friend visits your newly renovated home. Imagine you've renovated your house after years of saving money. You invite an old friend, who has an envious nature, to visit. I just did some small renovations to brighten up the place. Looks better, right? Your friend, yeah, it's okay, but why didn't you renovate it bigger? I saw Mr. B's new house, it's way fancier than this. Result, you were happy with your home, but after hearing that, you start comparing yourself and suddenly feel like your house isn't good enough. How envious people harm you. 1. They make you feel inferior. Their words make you doubt yourself and feel like you're never good enough. You might start chasing meaningless competition, trying to prove yourself instead of enjoying what you have. 2. They take away your inner peace. Instead of feeling happy, you feel judged and compared every time you meet them. Your mind becomes restless, constantly worrying about how others perceive you. 3. They destroy your confidence and gratitude. Instead of being grateful for your life, you focus on what you lack. Eventually, you forget that happiness isn't about having more, it's about appreciating what you already have. Solutions: how to deal with envious people. 1. Don't let them affect you. When they compare or belittle you, remember that you are living for yourself, not to impress them. Don't argue or explain, they don't actually want to acknowledge your success. 2. Keep your distance. If a friend, relative, or neighbor is constantly envious, limit your interactions with them. You don't need to cut them off completely, but avoid sharing too much about your personal life. 3. Surround yourself with positive people. Choose friends who appreciate life, support, and encourage you instead of competing with you. When you're around positive people, life feels lighter and more joyful. Don't let envious people steal your happiness. Happiness isn't about having more, it's about appreciating what you already have. Life is short, don't waste time with people who make you feel like you're not enough. Instead, spend time with those who bring peace and positivity into your life. If you agree, share this video with your loved ones so they, too, can learn to stay away from envious people. Dui de la ban dike tiang on qua noi dung ban yu ka. People with toxic lifestyles, the enemies of old age. Hello, everyone. As we grow older, we all hope for a peaceful and happy life surrounded by our children, grandchildren, and friends. However, one crucial thing that many people overlook is that the relationships around you greatly impact your quality of life. If you frequently associate with people who have toxic lifestyles, your old age won't just be unhappy, it could also come with serious consequences. Today, we will discuss a group of people you should avoid as soon as possible, those who lead toxic lifestyles. 1. What is a toxic lifestyle? A toxic lifestyle is not just about bad habits. It also includes negative thinking patterns and behaviors that can harm your health, finances, and mental well-being. Some common traits of people with toxic lifestyles include alcohol, tobacco, and drug addiction, always looking for excuses to drink excessively, ignore medical advice, and escape reality through substance abuse. Gambling, betting, and debt accumulation, hoping to get rich quickly through luck, dragging others into financial ruin. Harsh words, constant complaints, and negativity, always whining about life, blaming fate, and spreading negative energy to those around them. Laziness, unhealthy eating, and lack of exercise, neglecting health, engaging in poor eating habits, and refusing to exercise. Selfishness and exploitation of others, constantly taking advantage of people's finances, time, or emotions without gratitude or reciprocation. Do you recognize any of these traits in people around you? If so, be careful. Spending too much time with them can negatively affect you in one way or another. 2. Consequences of associating with people who have toxic lifestyles. Some people may think, we're just friends, what's the harm? I'm old now, I can live however I want. Wrong. Being around toxic people affects you more than you realize. Your health will deteriorate rapidly. A Harvard University study found that negativity and bad habits significantly impact both mental and physical health. People who frequently drink with friends have a 40% higher risk of developing fatty liver disease and double the risk of a stroke. Those who engage in reckless enjoyment often neglect their health, skip medical checkups, and have unhealthy diets, leading to serious issues such as diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease. Financial ruin and mounting debts. Gambling and betting are the fastest ways to bankruptcy. Many elderly people are lured into gambling by friends, starting for fun but eventually drowning in debt. Many seniors have been exploited by so-called friends who borrow money and never pay it back, losing their lifelong savings. Negative mindset and loss of life enjoyment. Being surrounded by constant complaints, blame, and crude language can make you mentally exhausted and depressed. Many elderly people have admitted, I used to be cheerful, but after spending time with them, I started seeing life in a darker way. Are you aware of this? If you have a friend who constantly invites you to drink, always tells negative stories, or frequently borrows money, wake up. Don't let them drag you down. 3. Real-life examples. The gossiping neighbor, the alcoholic old man. Case 1. The gossiping neighbor, master of rumors, negativity. Mrs. Tam is a neighbor who loves gossiping all day, always speaking ill of others and spreading negativity. Every time she invites you over, she complains. Oh my God, my children are so ungrateful. Mr. A is old but still rich, while I'm poor and miserable. Mrs. B is too old to dress up, so shameless. At first, you just listen. But over time, you start complaining too, seeing life more negatively. Advice: stay away from those who only spread negativity, they will drain your energy. Case 2, the alcoholic old man, dragging you down. Mr. H is an old acquaintance who always invites you to drink. We're old, why be afraid? Let's just have fun. A little alcohol won't hurt. Everyone drinks. At first, you refuse. But eventually, you give in and get caught in the habit of drinking, leading to declining health and financial loss. One day, the doctor warns you about high blood pressure and stroke risks, but Mr. H still insists on drinking. Advice: avoid people with bad habits before you become one of them. 4. How to avoid people with toxic lifestyles. Step 1. Identify the signs. If someone makes you feel drained, anxious, or encourages bad habits, be cautious. Step 2. Keep your distance. You don't need to cut ties immediately, but gradually reduce your interactions. Step 3. Build positive relationships. Surround yourself with healthy, active, and positive people, those who enjoy walking, reading, volunteering, or joining senior clubs. Step 4. Focus on yourself. Instead of wasting time with negative people, invest in your health, mental well-being, and happiness. Final thoughts: old age should be about happiness, not misery. Remember, you have the right to decide how you live your life. Don't let toxic people harm your health, finances, or mental state. Live happily, live healthily, live peacefully. In summary, old age is a time to enjoy life in peace and happiness, free from unnecessary worries or societal pressures. Therefore, choosing who you spend your time with is crucial for maintaining both mental and physical health. Surround yourself with those who bring joy, peace, and encouragement into your life. And remember, sometimes not visiting someone doesn't mean you are heartless. It simply means you are protecting yourself.